Hello lovely people, it's Cara here and I am so mad. Today I bring to you a new discovery, and it is totally the fault of Jane from Loopy Maple's closet. So thank you, Jane. And she did a video all about free sewing patterns, and let's face it, who doesn't like a free sewing pattern? So I saw a picture of a particular jumper, and I'll pop a picture of it up here for you. It's sort of like a crossover at the front, sort of empire line, and I'd not seen style. Excuse me, I've not seen a style like that before, and thought, oh, you know, I'll pop on. And the company is called Lekala Patterns, which I believe is based in Russia. If I've got that wrong, then I will put it in the box here below. Nonetheless, you can translate it into a number of different languages. And I don't know about you, but every now and again you fall down a rabbit hole of new discovery, and that's exactly what happened to me with Lekala Patterns. So the premise of the pattern is that it was free, except that when I got onto Lekala Patterns, oh my word, they're amazing. And they are approximately £2.79, something like that, for a PDF pattern. And I don't think I've seen a site with as many amazing patterns on it ever. The detail in these patterns is just second to none. I couldn't quite believe it. Very European style, but I like that. You get a lot of detail, you get like asymmetric, you get more button options, you get just the styling of it, very European I think, but I was blown away. It does take a little bit of navigating around, but it's not unfriendly in any way, shape or form. And there's a few genius points to come. So not only is there an amazing amount of style, not only are they unbelievably priced and sometimes free, but they will make you your PDF pattern in your size. Yes, you heard me right. It's quite phenomenal. All you do is you give them your height, you give them your bust measurements, you give them your underbust, you give them the waist, you give them the hip, and they will send you back, I'm not going to lie, within 15 minutes, a PDF pattern to your size. I thought this has got to be too good to be true. That cannot be a thing. For £2.79 a pattern. Might have said that already now. But I was just, okay, let's give this a go. So I popped into the inbox the free crossover top, which I'll put a line drawing of here. And then I saw a safari dress. Now I have always wanted a safari dress. I love the styling of them. It's a straight up and down kind of, well, it's a sort of glamorous shift dress with pockets and belts really. But I absolutely loved the look of this safari dress. And I thought, well, you know, it could be quite complicated, it might be a fail, but you know, it's an absolute bargain, let's give it a go. And you pop in your measurements. I also, you'll remember from a fabric haul I did a while ago that I had a lovely sort of blue and white chiffon fabric that I wanted to make a summer dress out of, and also on Lekala Patterns I saw and I wanted to do tiers in that, so sort of quite a simple top half, but the tiers that are very popular, and I found a pattern for that as well. Yeah, so having found 3 patterns, I thought, well, you know, that's approximately £6.40 at this stage for 3 patterns. I thought, let's just pop those in a basket and see how we go, see where it lands up from there. And I was a bit nervous because I immediately got back an email acknowledging my order. Nothing attached. I'm not sure about this. It does say translated into English and all those things, but the website is incredibly easy to understand. And then within half an hour for all 3 patterns, maybe even less, I don't want to do them a disservice, you get an email with the pattern, with the line drawings and the instructions, and then slightly later I got an email with the PDF on it, in my size. I still can't get my head around it. So none of this, you know, having to cut out using what do you call it, where you've got the tiles, that's it, to get to your size. None of this cutting around a particular, making sure you're staying on one particular dotted line. It actually comes in your size. And when you, so you select your pattern, you put in your own bespoke sizes, and there's charts all the way through to help you with that. And then you can add seam allowance onto the PDF for an additional tiny amount. I think it was, I'm going to say 50p off the top of my head to add seam allowance. And who doesn't want to add seam allowance? Because I'm certain you've all been there with a birder pattern or something like that. You've cut it out, you've probably cut your fabric, and then you've gone, oh, seam allowance, or something like that. So that happens to me a lot. I can't be the only person. So it comes with a seam allowance as well. So I'm just going to pause the film here, and I'm going to grab one of the patterns as I printed it off and show you. Okay, I'm back. Before I do that, actually, I did want to explain to you. So I've got a number of emails now. I've had a confirmation, I've had an email with the instructions and line drawings, and then I had a PDF as well. Now I think actually one of the emails came in a different format to that. Obviously I've got all the details. I then went to print off the PDF pattern, and I love how they do it. So you normally have, like, I don't know, 36 pages, something like that. And you sort of stick them together, landscape generally. So you take off the top, take off the bottom, whatever your preferred method is, and generally you're in a landscape scenario. With Lekala patterns, now I think I've screenshotted something here, recorded. It's a new thing for me. It's not new to everybody else, I'm sure. But basically, I've screenshotted a recording of my computer here, and I wanted to show you how they put their PDF pattern together, because it is genius. So instead of going landscape, it basically comes out 1 of 1, 2 of 1, 3 of 1, 4 of 1, 5 of 1, for example. So you basically are creating the PDF in a portrait as opposed to landscape. I don't know why that makes it easier, but it was so simple to do. I loved it. And if I'm honest, I don't think I even needed to trim it or something. I'm not sure, but the reason I'm telling you that is because it was just a lovely and simple process to put together. So far, massive thumbs up. Now, the Lekala patterns themselves are not designed for beginners, I don't think, because they literally, I'm going to talk about the instructions a little bit more in a moment, but they are very, very basic instructions, and also the patterns are the pattern pieces themselves are very basic. So here we go. This is the bodice for this is for the summer dress, which I'll show you in a moment. Now what I wanted to show you is there's literally nothing on here at all. So you've got, but it's all there. That's the dart, that's your apex of your dart, and that's obviously where you would put the, traditionally here on like a tilly or something, these would be two marks here, and you would know how to make your notches, but you basically would put your notches there and there, but obviously they're not shown as notches, but that's what it implies. That's how the seam allowance comes. So that's to indicate your seam allowance, which I think is just a lovely, lovely thing. And then on here, it's got the grain, so that's the grain line there. And then on it basically says back cut 1 + 1. And then you can't see it because I've sellotaped across it, but actually stamped or typed onto each of the PDF pieces is my measurements, so height, bust, waist, hip. There's just 4 measurements for this particular pattern, and it's all done in centimetres. I don't remember seeing inches, let me scratching my ear, sorry. I don't remember seeing in inches, but it's pretty easy to convert. The simplicity of that, loved it. Yeah, really simple. Let me just take a sip of my tea a second, sorry. It is a beautifully hot day here today. It's been like winter, summer, winter, summer. That's just English weather for you. So today I got to wear a silk cami. I've had this fabric. I think I got this at the first knitting and stitching show that I went to. That must have been about 600 years ago, I reckon. And I've got the Megan Nielsen Dawn jeans on. I popped a little belt on with them today. I absolutely love these trousers. It was a mammoth video, and thank you to those who stayed all the way through, and I totally understand if you just duck in and out of that. But you know, I wanted to show you what my sewing life is like, warts and all, mistakes and all, family noises just like there is and all, because that's me, that's what that's what I'm doing. So I took you with me on that journey. So if you haven't had a chance to see that, then please do. I'll pop a card up here to it. But yeah, I love these jeans. This is a week later now, and I've barely taken them off actually. I love how you can style them up and down. Anyway, back to Lekala patterns. So as I said, I chose three particular patterns. I immediately made the safari dress. I've just pulled the sewing room doors too, so hopefully you can hear me a bit better. So family life is going on around me. Oh, and I've got Alice here with me today as well. Let me show you Alice. Yay! Completely chilled out. She's been such a treasure. She just follows me around. There's Daisy sitting out there. I've taken to resting my camera on top of my Felicity fabric boxes. So thank you, Carolina Fliss. I'll maybe show you that off camera. The glamorous life of a vlogger. I kind of wanted to raise up my camera height a little bit. Anyway, so a safari dress. So Cara, you enter into a Russian website. That sounds worse than it is. You enter into a website that you're totally unsure of. You've got a really simple jersey crossover top. You've got a beautiful simple summer dress with tiers that looks really easy. Or you've got a safari dress. Let me put the line drawing in here. Pockets, belts, collar stand, collar, button placket, buttons galore. Which one would you choose? Which one would you go for when you're not sure about a particular sewing company? I know, choose the most complicated one, which is exactly what I did, naturally. And I was absolutely delighted. Now I've been sewing quite a long time. Well, actually, for some people, not a huge amount of time. What, 5-6 years? Completely self-taught, as you know. And you could not enter into this particular sewing pattern without experience, as I've done another screen recording here. I hope they're okay with you, but I didn't want you to miss out on the level of detail that you get with these patterns, or not, as the case may be, because there is one page of the pattern instructions. That's it, and it's literally I'm going to say something like points 1 to 15 or something like that, and it will literally say make the collar. And then I'm belittling the detail there. That's not true. This, I'm going to show you some pictures anyway. And of course it's black, so it's going to be really hard to see. Oh, that's hugely frustrating. I don't know if you can even see that. But the level and detail in this is just beautiful. Oh man. Oh, I'm so cross with myself that you can't see that. I'm really hoping in the pictures you'll be able to see, but it's got a beautiful collar, a lovely collar stand, a gorgeous button placket, and hopefully the line drawing will show you that the button, it sort of curves in like that, and then it's top stitched down both sides. I wish you could see that better, I'm really sorry. I'm going to say it's probably, in terms of level of detail, one of the most detailed makes I've ever made. But it has come together better than anything I've made, full stop. And looks probably like the most shop bought thing I have ever made. I am absolutely delighted with it. It's got lovely, let's see if I can, maybe that's slightly better. So I'm in my sewing room here and I'm reliant on natural daylight because I don't have any lights or anything. But you can see here like the jeans buttons I chose. It's just, and because it was made to my size, it fit like a glove. I couldn't believe it. I'm a tweaker, so I make something and then I spend quite a bit of time tweaking it afterwards, generally speaking. But this came together with such scant instructions, better than I could have ever imagined. and that's why I wanted to share this with you, because it was, I think it's such a rare find, an absolute treat to find this level of design with such bespoke service for so little. I don't know how they do it. I really don't. It's just phenomenal. But so this fabric, I will put a card above to the Sew Something Different. So I made my husband a pair of shorts about a month, 6 weeks ago now. And this chambray, it's sort of in between a heavyweight cotton and a denim, kind of chambray-esque. So it's not exactly trouser weight, but it's quite heavyweight cotton. I had loads of it. I don't even remember where I got it actually. I want to say, oh no I do, it's from Pound Fabrics. Bought 3, maybe 4 meters of it because it was just no money at all. So I made my husband, and it's been languishing in my fabric stash for a really long time. So I made my husband some shorts and then had enough left over. And I've always thought, what shall I do with this fabric? And this is absolutely perfect weight for it. Hang on a second. I decided to put the dress on, although I've put some fittage on it with the outside, so that hopefully you can see it a little bit better. No, just undone the pocket button there. There we go. So yeah, so it just fits so well. The collar itself is very 1960s, so I'm not overly sure about the collar. I don't know that you can see it all that well actually, but I like it, but it's a little wider than we would have now. Bizarrely, when I look at pictures back of it, I think, oh, actually, no, it's okay. It's funny, isn't it? Your perception of what you think it looks like versus what reality. But yeah, so you can see there a little bit better, I think, some of the detail, although it is still very dark. Yeah. Note to self: don't film him. Don't film anything in black, because it comes up really difficult for you to see. But yeah, you can see there what I meant about this lovely gentle V into the top there. These lovely pockets with the sort of very safari-like detail. Then it does, the actual pattern itself, I should have said, has massive, it does come with massive pockets that go here and here, but I wasn't keen on that, so I decided not to put them in. Okay, back to the video. I thought this might help. I wish I could show you the top stitching and everything. I'm going to come up really close. Oh, no, it's not showing it. Basically, yeah, every seam is top stitched, just as you would expect to see on a safari dress. Now these are fully functioning pockets, very small little pockets, and you've got that traditional sort of safari pleat on the front of there as well. But yeah, for incredibly scant instructions, hopefully, yeah, there we go. Sorry, for very scant instructions, they just came together beautifully. So a massive tick in my book. And I made it a few weeks ago actually, and there are a number of inspirational pictures that just over the years have caught my eye. And actually it was a Calvin Klein dress that I was replicating when I was looking at this. And just before I made this, Lisa from And So On, and a lady called Whitney, I've forgotten her Instagram, sorry, pulled together a Make That Look 2020, where she was encouraging people to replicate or inspired by, is probably a better way of putting it, a sort of a store-bought dress or top or something, shoes, all sorts of different things. And there were lots and lots of very inspiring entries, and I put my entry in on the very last day. In my sewing room here, my projects sit until I get a chance to film. I don't really wear them until I've filmed them. I know that sounds a bit strange, but I just like to know where I am with what I'm filming next. And so I thought, oh my goodness, it's the last day and I've made this, I wanted to enter into it, and I nearly missed the deadline for it. So I literally, mad as it sounds, I literally got changed for work and then thought, no, I need to put this on. So I popped this dress on at ridiculous o'clock in the morning before I went to work, and then put it in into a collage. I'll show you the picture here. So it was the last day, so I didn't have to wait very long to hear the results. And they used a random generator through all the lovely entries. So I only went and won. There was 3 winners, which is very exciting. So thank you, Lisa, and to Whitney as well, for such a lovely competition. And I'll pop the details of Make That Look 2020 down below, because there was some sensational entries there, some really, really amazing things. So well done everybody for taking part in that. And I win a pattern to the makerist.com. Now that's something that Lisa from And So On was talking about, and I'm going to, I've chosen a men's shirt pattern, and you'll see why in an upcoming video. Yeah, some new exciting discoveries for me. So what a lovely thing, just a lovely thing. I just thought I'd share that with you. I never win anything. And I've been pretty lucky really. So won some buttons, didn't I, a few weeks ago, and now a pattern as well. So I'm delighted. But just, you can hear my enthusiasm for Lekala. I love it so far. And then, so I will put footage of me in the safari dress. But just could not believe my luck. Very complicated make, or could have been a very complicated make with a brand new company, but it turned out amazing. And then you'll remember this fabric from one of my first fabric hauls that I shared with you. I'll pop a link to that up here. It's a gorgeous sort of chiffon, Georgette chiffon, Georgette. So you can see there it is quite sheer, but it's got these wonderful great big leaves across it. And my vision, I had an inspiration photograph. I couldn't find anything like that, and thank you to those that sent suggestions, but I just didn't tick the right boxes for me. So on the Lekala website, I saw this this particular pattern. And again, I put in my own bespoke sizes, and again, it came back within that time scale, really short time scale of my sizes, and I made it. So I will put pictures to show you. So it's a V-neck. It's actually so the bodice wasn't lined, but because it's quite sheer, I decided to line it. So actually, if I turn this inside out, I'll show you. And I did it in the same way as Lisa Comfort does her Betty dress, I want to say. So she basically, so it doesn't provide you a lining piece, but you create 2 bodices and then bag it out, which is where you sew the neckline, and then use a burrito method to get to complete the armholes. There are lots of really great tutorials out there for that. But yeah, so that's the inside. You can see there. So you stitch the bodice lining to the waist seam, so it's all really nice and neat on the inside. But because it was so sheer, it also meant that I'm not flashing anyone indecently. So it's a really lovely V-neck detail. But when I put it on, so this is probably easier if I talk it through here, because it's quite difficult to see, I think. So there's a nice width of shoulder here, but actually I wanted it to be a little more delicate than that. So what I did was added some scraps of fabric. You can see here, I've got my finger here, into that, and I added a loop. Literally, if I hold it up, you can see added a loop there. And what that does, it's not, I haven't even stitched it down, to be honest, although I could. I might not, I might. But yeah, so that is in there. And then when I've got it on, you can hopefully see that. It's very difficult because the bodice is there. Hopefully you can see, there we go, if I put my hand. It just draws in the neck, so neck, it looks basically as if I'm doing that. So it sort of pinches in these sections here, and I think just makes it look a little bit more delicate. Now I wasn't as lucky with the sizing on this one, but actually that's not true. No, the sizing was absolutely perfect, but the styling of the dress was very up and down, and what I wanted was something a bit more cinched in at the waist. So all I did, very straightforward, was basically take in this seam here. So that's the waist seam, that's the underarm seam, and basically I just sort of tapered that in a little, and what that did was just bring the whole thing in. It's relatively empire line, which I really like. But do you know what? I haven't got any up and down. I haven't got any sort of free-flowing maxi dresses in my collection at the moment. So I'm super pleased with this. Yeah, I really like it. And actually, I've left the hem raw actually, because white overlock thread, and I think it looks quite pretty. So I've left that. I haven't turned that up. So, and then the tiers on it are just what I was looking for actually. I think you can see them. Yeah. So one there and then one at the bottom, and hopefully in the footage you'll be able to see that a little bit better. So a real success story for Lekala patterns. I haven't made the top yet, which ironically is what I started off my whole journey with the Lekala patterns, because of that one top. But when I started making, summer was here, and then I've had a number of things in the middle. So you'll know that I've sewn the Dawn jeans, I've done all various different things, and I've got some quite exciting projects on the go at the moment as well. I can't wait to share with you. And then it was too hot to wear a jersey top, ironically, so I thought, well, I won't make one of those at the moment. But this last week, where it's been raining, definitely could have done with a nice little crossover t-shirt. So and I've got the fabric already. So yes, I look forward to that, and I'll slice that into a future video. But I just wanted to share with you really how absolutely brilliant Lekala patterns are. Such great value. The instructions, although sparse, are easy to follow. Again, for this one, maybe I'll put a recording here of the one page of the pattern instructions. But I think you would need to have some experience under your belt in order to know how to do things. And by no means Tilly in the button instructions there. It literally says put the skirt piece onto the other piece. I actually let me see if I can hold on a second. And again, I decided after all it'd be much easier for me to put my dress on. Now my husband is about to walk past the window. I think might do a little cameo. Hopefully he's got, I don't know. There he is. Yes, in his t-shirt and boxer shorts. So sorry about that. I did tell you it's me and my life. That's made me smile. So this is the dress, and that's what I meant. It's so much easier for me just to put the dress on and show you the detail. So that's what I meant by putting these little straps in here. I just think it makes it a little bit more feminine. And there you can see what I meant by, it's not quite empire line because that would be here, but I've taken it in at the sides just to sort of make it a bit more feminine, although it is very free flowing. I think you'll be able to see that part in the pictures. So yeah, and then the light comes back. Sorry about that. I know it's when I get up it gets dark, when I sit down it goes light, so I hope that's come across okay. I just really like this. It's a lovely neckline, and because I've as I say, I did a self lining for this, which is where you cut out two bodices and use one as a lining, one as the external, and that means that the neckline and the armholes are all finished off really nicely. The pattern itself comes with facings to do that. Now I'm not a huge fan of facings at the best of times actually, and this definitely would be my preferred method. I think it's quicker too, and also it gives you a lovely clean finish on the inside as you saw earlier. But I just love this. I love the colours of this. Do you know, I was going to wear shorts today because it's actually quite a nice day. Actually no, I was going to put my oh, there's Laura, just a quick cameo from the doggy in the background there. I was going to wear my marigold, no, what am I talking about? My Alexa get your words out, Cara. Alexa romper jumpsuit that I've worn quite a few times. But I might wear this. But I'm going for a dog walk on the Ashdown Forest, so dog walking in maxi dresses, it's not my best. It's not my best move, so I'm probably better off sitting with a romper. Anyway, back to the video. Okay, I'm back. I wanted to show you actually, so this is the, let's have a look now. I've got the back lower skirt piece here, so that's basically the rectangle that makes the back piece. But on here, not that you're going to be able to read that, it basically tells you what length to gather this piece to. So if I have a look for you, it says gather to 41.6 centimetres or 16.38 inches. So it's very, very precise, which is just genius, because then the piece that it attaches to, oops, coming apart, the piece that it attaches to matches this, and then it's had its gather as well, which is just brilliant. And again, you can see, again, I don't expect you to be able to read that, but it says here what piece it is, so lower back skirt, self, and it's not, the translation is a little strange because it says self cut 1+1, so obviously that's 2, and then again it's got my measurements, so height, bust, waist, hips, and I do actually forget to tell you that quite often. I've got them written on a piece of paper here because I just for some reason can never remember them. So my bust is 95 centimetres, which is 39 inches. My waist is 81 centimetres, which is 32 inches, and hips are 104 or 41 inches. Yeah, and that's basically what that says on this piece of paper here. And again, you can see there's the seam allowance. So if you don't click the seam allowance box, you'd need to add that yourself. Who wants to be doing that? And you've got the grain line on there. Oh, actually, look, you can see there. Again, I hope that comes up on screen. The piece of paper is coming apart. So it says here you've got 3 of 1, 3 of 2, 3 of 3, and above and below that, so you can see, okay, yeah, so you can see there, you've got 1, 1, 3, 1, 4, this one here would be 1, 2, for example. I hope I'm describing that okay. It's just a very, very simple way of putting a PDF pattern together, which I thoroughly love. So, that's it from me today. Something new for you to go and discover. Very, very exciting, and it's hundreds and hundreds of patterns on there. So I really hope you enjoy having a look through that. And thanks again to Jane from Loopy Mabel's Closet for the tip on that. Coming up, I am going to be venturing into the Sew Over It Summer Dreaming ebook. I've made a number of the items from there, and I'm going to be doing a sort of, well, I think I'm going to do a review on each piece, building to a sort of a lookbook of the Summer Dreaming book itself. So I look forward to sharing that with you. And then, yeah, sliced in with that, I've probably got some other bits and pieces I want to share with you. So I look forward to it. In the meantime, I would absolutely love it if you could support my channel, please. Thank you very much for those who bought me a coffee from my Ko-fi account. I love being with you. It is genuinely like having a cup of tea with you and just talking about sewing each week. There are a few things I would like to invest in. So I would like to buy a microphone. I'm going to need to buy some lights at some stage. This is all done off my own my phone at the moment, which is great fun. But the Ko-fi account, if you can buy me a virtual cup of tea or cup of coffee, I genuinely do invest that straight back into this channel. So I'm saving hard at the moment to do that. Another way you can support my channel, which may be slightly less obvious, is to watch the adverts that are at the beginning of my channel. You'll notice they've popped up just in the last 2 weeks. I get, as do all YouTubers who have adverts on their channel, you get literally a few pence per view of those adverts. and I think it's I don't think you qualify for any pence at all unless you've watched up to 30 seconds or more, I think, of it is, of those adverts. I might not be right in that. It's all a new arena to me, but I do know that the ad revenue on all YouTube channels does support those YouTubers. So there's just a couple of things I want to be honest with you about, but I would love it if you could buy me a coffee, please. And I look forward to a time where I can actually get to meet a number of you at various events when they start to get you know, be allowed to be held, and we're allowed to go into coffee shops and have cups of tea and things. So yes, details of my coffee account are below, and the adverts are there to be watched, please, or not, as the case may be. I do this for fun. I absolutely love being here, but every little helps, as they say. Oh, who says that? And I also just love getting comments from you. I had a particular favourite one this week on Instagram, and it literally said, bought the pattern, bought the fabric, making the jeans, totally your fault. And I responded back, guilty as charged. To know that I've inspired some people to make the jeans, and that one particular person, is just, it fills my heart with joy, because sewing's really important to me. I don't talk about my personal life very often, but there's been a lot of change in it, and sewing is definitely my self-care. It keeps me in a sane place, and I don't know what I would have done without it. Yeah, love sharing it with you. So in the meantime, stay safe and well, and I look forward to catching up with you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye.